It's the last one of the Deya Beers that I picked up from the Deya Taproom last week. This is Into the Haze, one of my pals' favourite beers from Deya. But is it any good? Can it live up to those lofty scores that we've already had from the Deya Beers? Well, keep on watching and you'll find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to be reviewing Into the Haze. This is by Deya. It's quite a sort of clean sort of artwork there. A lot of white on there. Just a few little images. Got a few of the little sort of baby crocodiles, I suppose they are. This is an IPA and it's made with Citra and Simcoe. Just 2 hops in this one. And as I said in the introduction, one of my friends, he's had this before we went to the tap room and said this is his favourite Deya beer. I wonder now that he's had some of the other ones that we reviewed on here, whether he still thinks this. And I need to remember what this is like, put it to the test against all the other beers. So let's crack it open, get it in glass and see what it's all about. I'm expecting, you know, equally good things from this as we've had of all the others, really. Obviously, Citra and Simcoe, you know, I think it's going to be a lot bit more cleaner than a lot of the other beers, but we'll see whether that's true, shall we? So beer in a glass, well, I mean, looks like a typical sort of Deya, very sort of yellow. It's a little bit paler. The head, we've got 2 fingers of head, and it's a sort of almost like a creamy white sort of colour. I mean, it looks white in the screen, but to me, it's got a much more sort of a slight yellowy sort of tinge to it. But that looks a cracking beer. Let's see what it smells like. Again, big hits of sort of mango, big hits of pineapple. Yeah, it smells quite fresh, but a little subdued. You know, it's not as packed full of hops as a lot of the other ones. But let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Really juicy, and it has got a really creamy, maybe almost like no carbonation at all. It's that soft and creamy, this beer. Yeah, I can see how, if this is the first Deya you've had, like my pal, you can easily fall in love with this because it's got a really soft, creamy mouthfeel. That's the star. It's got nice levels of juice, but it's a little bit sort of, it's not like massively hop forward like a lot of the other Deya beers we've had. It's a little subtle in terms of its flavours. There's nothing sort of really big. It's got a nice mango, pineapple. I mean, I'm waiting for sort of like a little bit of a punch, you know, like the thing at the end, the punchline, as it were, but it's just got a very sort of, I don't like to say one note, but it's almost got that nice tropical fruity taste on the front end. And then you're waiting for something else to happen and it doesn't really. There's not sort of a big sort of wash of citrus and grapefruit. There is citrus in there. Obviously, a lot of these sort of beers are going to have citrus flavours in here. But the star of it for me is just the softness of the mouthfeel on this beer. It's incredibly soft. Carbonation is almost nil. It's incredible how good that carbonation is, and how, you know, a lot of the other Deya beers have been really great and soft, but this is the star. This is really the softest, creamiest of them, and I think maybe that's down to the fact that it's not overpowered with hops. Yeah, I mean, as well, there's that nice juice flavour, peachy almost, mango, peachy, pineapple. And a little bit of sort of general citrus, but there's not much. I'm not picking much in terms of grapefruit. There's no sort of big sharpness, no sort of pininess or bitterness or anything like that. It's a cracking beer. And to be honest, I think, Scott, if you're watching this, I agree with you. This is a really, really good beer. A good Deya beer. It's a no-nonsense Deya beer. It knows that it can be a good beer without being overwhelming with hops and all kinds of multiple flavours and pockets of this, that and the other going on. It's just a easy drinking sort of beer that you could have 6 of them and go, yep, that's a really cracking beer. It's one of those core IPAs, I think, that just does exactly what you want from it. Juice at the front, soft mouthfeel, easy to drink, cracking beer. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Into the Haze. It's a little bit understated in terms of its artwork, and even in itself, it's a little understated, but it doesn't stop it being a really cracking beer. So let's go through the scores. Firstly, aroma. Well, compare with a lot of the others, there's not a massive sort of big aroma. There's not loads of hops going into this, but it's just got a nice sort of tropical pineapple, mango, slightly peachy, slightly citrusy. It's a really nice, pleasant aroma. It doesn't jump out of you. It doesn't really get those taste buds going, but it's still pretty damn good. So I'm giving it 13 out of 20. Appearance, again, like a lot of these days, lovely yellow, hazy. I think it's a little bit lighter than the other beers that we've had, but you can see how creamy it looks just by looking at the lacing of the glass. It's a credible looking beer, but not probably as good as, say, the Sunshine, which I think looked even better. So I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Flavour-wise, well, there's something about when you drink a beer and you just think, it doesn't sort of smack you around the face. You just drink it and you think, oh, that's so creamy. It's got a real soft, the carbonation is so soft in it. And it's got almost like I think that this beer's got a lot of oats. Something that's given it that real sort of creaminess. It's almost like an oat cream IPA in terms of its mouthfeel. And the flavours there, you're getting a big hit of pineapple and a big hit of mango sort of on the front. And then you're getting a slight citrusy with a slight grapefruit, but it's all very subtle. There's no over complexity with this beer. It's just a lovely, easy drinking. It's almost like some pale ales that we've had, where it's a nice, easy drinking beer with a nice fruity flavour. But the things that separates it from a lot of those pale ales is the fact it has a mouthfeel more of an IPA, a lot more creamier, and that's the star of it. That really makes it a better beer than it is. But I think as well, we've been spoiled a little bit by Deya, but this one it's got all those flavours, but doesn't go one way or the other. So I think it's the sort of beer that everyone will love. It, when you look at something like the Sunshine, had that Sabro in, and you had that quite big hot profile. Even the Better Days, which I think was probably the best one in terms of my personal liking, but even that was a big hop forward beer. This one, compared with those other two, and the third one, which was the Something Good, the Kyra Pop, obviously all of those big hop heavy. This one is all dialed a little bit back. Still the juice, still the flavour, the incredible mouthfeel, but it doesn't sort of, your mouth doesn't explode. It's just one of those sort of beers that's like, yeah, this is the sort of beer I could just keep drinking all night because it just goes down so well. So in flavour-wise, I'm giving it 36. Value for money, well, it's a 6.2% IPA. £4 I picked this up. My regret is I should have picked up more of this because this is a really good beer. So I'm giving it 10 out of 10 for value. And my overall experience, it's a cracking beer. 16 out of 20. Brilliant beer. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this beer at all. Sometimes you'd want something a bit more hop forward, but apart from that, it's cracking. So, total score. I feel I'm racing through this review a little bit more than normal. I just wanted to get a nice shorter one. 84. It's the lowest of the Deya beers. But it's funny, I just think the aroma's not as powerful, so it doesn't score as much on that. But really, it is as equally as good as all of them. In fact, all four beers, you put them side by side, you'd say they're all good for different reasons. And I don't think any of them outshine each other really in any department. I do think the Better Days is that slightly better. But this one, I think a lot of people will like this one because it's just a really soft, juicy sort of beer. It doesn't try and have any sort of bells and whistles to overdo it, really. And that's what makes it a cracking beer. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you enjoyed all the Deya ones. I'm not going to stop drinking Deya. In fact, I'm going to go out and buy more Deya. And I'm thinking like some of these beers that I've had, I probably will buy anyway, just enjoy, because I think they're that good. So let me know what you think. Is there a Deya beer that you think I should try? Is there one that that really sort of stands out for you that you've had? Maybe it was 6 months or a year ago. I'm really interested to know what your best Deya beer. Let me know in the comments. And until the next one, you know what you got to do. Keep on rocking.